Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight. Thank you once again for joining us here at the Northern Kentucky Chamber as we spotlight all the great things happening in Northern Kentucky. And yes, today we're going to start things off talking about the coronavirus in just a little bit. First, though, we want to introduce ourselves. I'm Catherine Nero alongside Jeremy Schrand hosting the show for you today. Our title sponsor is CVG and our studio sponsor is the Ellen and Federal Credit Union. And again, we will get to our guests coming up in just a little bit, but this has been a very fluid time over the last 24 hours. A lot has changed. And Jeremy, we've got some guests here today to kind of put forth the Chamber's thoughts on what's going on.
So first, let me introduce Dan Cahill. He is the board chair of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. So he's got a special statement that he would like to read about what's going on.
Sure, absolutely. Good afternoon. So I'm Dan Cahill, chairman of the board for the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here today to read a statement that we recently sent out to all the chamber members. Currently, our businesses are experiencing a range of challenges associated with COVID-19, from employee bandwidth to time constraints, all within our rapidly changing health environment. Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce top priority is to ensure the safety of our members, employees, and the region at large. And although we currently do not have any indication that our events pose any health threats, we're mindful of the Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear's recommendations for all Kentuckians to avoid crowds and large gatherings. We're closely monitoring the situation. We're taking guidance from the Northern Kentucky Health Department, U.S. Center for Disease Control, and we're coordinating recommendations in conjunction with state and local officials. We believe it is in the best interest of our community to postpone select Northern Kentucky Chamber events through April 3rd, 2020, or until we have a better understanding of the virus. We ask everybody to please check out our website at www.northernkentuckychamber.com/COVID-19 to review the list of affected upcoming events. We'll certainly continue to monitor and evaluate the information about COVID-19, and we'll provide updates on this website and our social media accounts on Facebook and Twitter. During this time, the Northern Kentucky Chamber offices will remain open for business. In addition to postponing events, we're taking precautions to prevent the spread of illness by restricting our staff travel, using virtual conference call meetings at all times possible, and restricting use of the Northern Kentucky Chamber meeting spaces. Public health experts advise anyone who is most vulnerable to complications from COVID-19 to follow the Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommendations to stay home as much as possible and avoid large gatherings. Please follow the CDC recommended respiratory etiquette and safe hand washing practices and stay home if you feel ill. As you are considering steps you can take within your organization, please view our webpage for additional resources. In summary, we strongly encourage our members to keep up with the facts about COVID-19, which are best received via the links above. Unless guidance changes about the local impact of COVID-19, this is a time when we should make every effort to support each other by continuing to do business locally while practicing common sense hygiene. We will indeed get through this together. Thank you.
Dan, thank you. And in addition to Dan, the Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications for the Chamber, Kristen Baldwin, is here. And this is this was a hard-fought statement to make because it's difficult, especially when you're dealing with businesses, to say stay home. And that's not really what we're saying to everybody at this point, right?
Right. We want to continue commerce as much as we can by also keeping our community healthy as much as possible. And I think that's something that Governor Beshear has been doing the last week or so with 2 daily updates via his podcast, live streaming. I think citizens have been viewing him and getting encouragement from what he's saying and following his guidelines. But again, going back to what the health department is trying to say, but continuing on with business as we can, whatever that new commerce looks like in this time that we are trying to get through the virus.
And it's just a couple of weeks. We can just look at it that way, just a couple of weeks.
And some events are being moved, but we also have some events that we use this cool technology, and we can come right to you on your Facebook page.
That's right. And and honestly, it's a very good point, what you said, Dan, and what you've been talking about, Jerry, which is social media. First of all, it's free, essentially, and it's the best way, the most immediate way to get this information. So that's the best way is to check that Facebook page, Twitter, web page, all of that good stuff.
Yep.
And then also just considering those businesses that you can use, whether it's doing takeout. I think we'll definitely be looking at using takeout in home tonight when we get home for dinner. Looking at how you can do that for this weekend, what you can be doing to help out those local businesses. Maybe a good time to get your carpets cleaned, get your
We
car
had a
maintenance.
great lunch from
Great
L'Oreal
points.
Walk today.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Good point.
So,
But
yeah.
look at how you can look at those supporting those local businesses.
And if I may, I think it's an opportunity for us to lean in a little bit from a chamber perspective. You mentioned, some satellite technologies, web
Yeah.
conferences, those types of things. My business is remote,
Yeah.
so we're considering it business as usual, and I think that's the most important message, right? Is to the extent we can, let's work together and let's leverage the technologies we have to continue to do business.
Well, it's going to even encourage us to record our staff meetings and stuff. We've been saying we want to do that, but
Right.
we haven't really done it because we don't need to. But now we're going to be doing a
Yeah.
lot of remote stuff, so we're going to have all these meetings recorded, and we won't have to have somebody take minutes or anything like that. It'll be all recorded and digitally archived and stuff like that. So
It's an interesting,
It's a little bit of
tiny
silver
little
lining.
silver lining,
Yeah.
exactly. So we just got the next couple of weeks, and so this is through April 3rd, and of course, keep it here on the Facebook page and the podcast and elsewhere, because we will continue to keep you updated. Thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank
Well,
you.
in addition to Dan and Kristen, we also have a couple of other guests coming our way today.
yeah, you get to say the first name.
Okay, Tefra Field. She is the
Tefra.
executive
Tefra.
director of the Family Promise of Northern Kentucky. She's
Yes,
coming in.
and then John Clancy, not to be confused with Tom Clancy.
Yes.
John Clancy from NKY Children's Advocacy Center. He's going to come in and talk about child abuse, because the Child Abuse Prevention Month is coming up.
That's right.
So we'll get to hear from both of them today.
And that's coming your way next. But first, we want to hear from Ellen Federal Credit Union.
Sometimes life is hectic. Choosing a mortgage lender shouldn't be. The L&N 55 Mortgage offers competitive rates, no PMI, and up to 100% financing. That's a mortgage that comes with peace of mind. Whether you're purchasing a new home or refinancing, you'll feel right at home with L&N. We're local, trusted, and we'll be here for you even after your closing. Call 800-292-2905 and get started on your 55 mortgage. L&N Federal Credit Union. Welcome home.
And welcome back to Northern Kentucky Spotlight. We're talking right now with the executive director of the Family Promise of Northern Kentucky, Tefra Fields. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
We got to start, first of all, by just asking this question. I know we're talking about coronavirus. You deal with a lot of families in need. How is this affecting you guys?
So one of the things that we have been discussing is we're in a communal space, our families are in a communal space, and how we can keep everyone safe and healthy, and putting things in place to do so, and partnering with other businesses and shelter programs, and trying to do that, and also doing proper screening and being compassionate and being safe at intake and assessments. So we're already putting things in place because of kind of what's been going on and the discussions that that have been had. So
What other big trends are you seeing regarding family homelessness?
well, a lot of people family homelessness is something that's kind of hidden. When people think of who is homeless, they think of the person that stands outside under the bridge or on the corner of the light, a single person. But they don't think about a family or a child or a baby that may be connected to that person. So we're seeing more families that are being recognized as homeless in the past couple of years and current year. That's it's happening. So you just never know. So
Tell us the scope of what Family Promise does.
So Family Promise is a collaborative of community individuals, businesses, and places of faith that provide an opportunity and a place where families can get back on their feet. And so we have what we call our day center. So that's where our business is and where our families are able to connect with our case manager, look for jobs, research housing opportunities, wash clothes, be able to mail things, and have a place that that's a basis for them. And then we reach out we have community partners and church partners that provide the overnight accommodations and transportation for our families. So during the day, if they're not working, our adult members or adult family members of the family would be at the day center working with our family advocate. And then at 5 o'clock, they would be transported to whatever church that is in the rotation for that week. And our churches rotate a week at a time. And what's unique is not only is that what's unique, but also volunteers. We're almost exclusively run by volunteers. So our volunteers are very important to our program, and without them, we would not be able to run. They provide, like I said, the overnight accommodations and supervision for the families, transportation. They provide the meals and dinner and the hospitality that our families so need.
So how does somebody qualify, or a family qualify, to be a part of the program?
Well, they would have to be a family unit, but have at least one child under the age of 18. And so that's the initial qualification, and then they would have to pass a background check and drug screen.
That's tough, though, to keep that family unit together, isn't it? There's not a lot of availability for families in that situation.
Right. We're the only shelter in northern Kentucky that is actually able to keep a family unit together. And we also take single dads, and that's something that's very unique as well. So, we're blessed to be in the community, and we're happy that we're able to help families and children of northern Kentucky.
So you mentioned you have lots of volunteers. If someone listening wants to get involved, how do they go about it?
Well, they would contact our day center at 859-360-0905, or they can click Facebook and at NKY Family Promise and connect with us there. Awesome. Or they can go to our website at www.nkyfamilypromise.org and send us a message. And then there are requirements for volunteers. They do have to complete a 2-hour volunteer training. And then connect with a church coordinator if they're wanting to work with the churches. But also we have opportunities back at our day center where we have volunteer office angels and people that want to come by, and we do what we call, we have blankets for families, and we have buddy bears that a lot of the kids like to put together, where we have stuffed animals, and they can put words of encouragement on them for families, and they get to name them. So, they're able to name the buddy bears and gift them to kids that are coming into our program.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
So, even though international travel right now is slightly frowned upon, that does not discount. Exactly.
Dream, right?
One day we will be able to travel abroad again. And so this month at the Chamber, the focus is on international trade. So what is your favorite place you've traveled or would like to travel to outside the U.S. and why?
So I really loved St. Lucia.
Okay.
It's a wonderful, wonderful little island and country. And the water is so calm, and it's calm.
We need that right now, don't we?
Yes, it's beautiful, and the people there are so nice. I loved it. The food is very fresh, and the beaches are, you can go to any beach on the island. It's wonderful. I love it.
Well, Teffer's got a phone call she's got to answer.
Oh,
so we're going to let you go.
Thank you for
coming in. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And right now, we'll be back with headlines for the week, but also a word right now from SeeCrew.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. SeeCrew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, SeeCrew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can SeeCrew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
And welcome back to Northern Kentucky Spotlight. When you're talking about the headlines of the week, we have to talk about coronavirus again, even though we did so right at the top of the podcast. But just as a quick recap, Boone County schools are going to go to non-traditional instruction, meaning online instruction, starting Monday. Kenton County looks like it's pretty close to making that decision. Fort Thomas is doing that.
Notre Dame.
There's going to be more rolling in.
Yep. Also, the NBA has suspended their season, and the MLS. I get they have to do it, and I'm actually glad because I probably wasn't going to go this weekend anyways. But they suspended their season for 30 days.
And then, as far as the Sweet 16 right now, the KHSAA is suspending ticket sales. So if you have a ticket, presumably they'll let you in. This is really a big question, though. Covcath plays tonight. Ryle girls play tomorrow. So we'll just have to see on that. So just, keep in mind they're allowing social distancing there because they're not selling any
Yep.
more tickets, so you can kind of move around a little bit.
Now let's turn it around and do some happy
Oh,
stuff.
goodness
Please.
gracious. Okay, yes. How about Beechwood? Beechwood Independent Schools essentially was named most likely to succeed in Kentucky. So this is 24/7 Wall Street.
Proud Beechwood alumni.
There you go. Look at this, succeeding right here. So it was named best in Kentucky for student success, and that's based on per student spending, testing, poverty rates, college degrees within the area, and some more parameters as well.
NKU men
Nice.
win the Horizon Championship yet again. So that's 3 times in the tournament in the 4 years that they've qualified.
Here's the caveat. I don't think there's going to be a tournament, but that's in question.
They still made it. They made it. They made it to the big dance.
And whatever that might be, they're talking about postponing it. We'll see if that happens. At the very least, there'll be no crowds.
Yeah.
So we'll see. On to Fort Wright. New police chief and new city clerk in that lovely city. Ed Butler was named the new police chief. He was previously deputy at the Kenton County Detention Center. And before that, Fort Wright City Administrator. And then Maura Russell was named the new city clerk there.
Yep. And I mean, we can't get through a podcast
Nope.
without talking about alcohol, food, or CVG, because they're just so
It's always
awesome.
good stuff.
So they got recognized for their customer experience, and I mean, I totally agree with this. Airports Council International, or ACI, honored CVG with the 2019 Airport Service Quality Award, the highest possible recognition for an airport operators around the world, and excellence in customer experience. And I mean, seriously, if you've been through CVG lately, you know that to be true.
Especially if you've been through other airports too.
Right,
just
right.
As comparison. The Point Arc tomorrow is cutting the ribbon on the Zembrote Education Center. This is at 5:30 in Covington. This incredible building was built from a donation from Tony and Jerry Zembrote. It'll help with employment services and pre-vocational skills, social skills, career exploration, all for the people that the Point serves with developmental disabilities. It'll also help with the transition into adulthood and parent support. So there's a lot of education going on down there. So congratulations to the Point, and thank you to the Zembrotes.
We can do the chamber roundup.
Yeah, go for it.
You got the sound effect ready?
Yeah,
All right, cool. Chamber roundup.
nothing.
Well, check out our website for the full details. If you check your email, you should have got an email from us about 10, 15 minutes ago. Sometimes they take a little bit of time to come out, but it's got in there. There's a link to the full list of events that we're postponing or changing or going to mess in. It's got all the details. You need to just check that email out. Go to our website, nkychamber.com/COVID-19.
Okay.
I'll also have it underneath the news tab on there. It's not up yet, and we'll also have a banner on the
Things are changing.
Things change,
And the
yeah.
bottom line is whatever you plan on doing. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. So you can
Ben,
see what it
thank
looks
you, Ben.
like. Cool. All right.
Working hard there.
So yeah, get there, check that out. And like I said, we're gonna try to do some more live streaming stuff. We're gonna host some events with the Microsoft Teams. It's a really sweet software. It's gonna help us out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna keep this economy moving.
That's right. Even if it is remotely.
Yep.
All right, stay with us. In just a moment, we'll be speaking with the Northern Kentucky Children's Advocacy Center. CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com. And welcome back to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight. As promised, we're talking with John Clancy from the Northern Kentucky Children's Advocacy Center. Thank you for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about this. For those who aren't familiar with the center, what do you guys do?
So we are the designated Children's Advocacy Center for Northern Kentucky, designated by the state of Kentucky. So we provide direct services to over 800 kids a year. We manage the multidisciplinary teams in each county to provide follow-on services, and we train over 1,700 community members a year on child abuse.
So we've got lots of organizations with children in their name. So how is yours different?
Right. Yeah, it's definitely confusing. We actually joined the chamber in 2019, which was great. A lot of great events the chamber hosts. And one thing I got asked several times was, "Are you this other organization?"
Right.
Right,
And I'm like,
right.
No, that's not us. We're different. And I think historically we've kind of kept a low profile given the sensitivity of the work we do. But we want people to know that we're a resource in the community. And so we provide, the direct services we do are forensic interviews and therapy. Forensic interviews is when you interview the child to try to get the information out, what happened, and those are tough conversations, right? So we have professional, experienced forensic interviewers. We have one interviewer who's done over 5,000 interviews with kids. It's just amazing. These other organizations, they do great work. They just don't do what we do, right? They have in-residency programs, or they're working with substance abuse, and that's not what we do. So we're unique in our mission, and it's unfortunate, but every day we have kids in with detectives and prosecutors and doing those interviews and trying to help the children.
So April, many people might know this is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So what kind of events do you guys have to get the word out?
So April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and one of the things we do is we're on the St. Elizabeth campus off Houston Road, and we have we're by the helicopter pad, and so kind of off the beaten road there, and we have an area of grass right next to Houston Road. We'll plant 800 to 1,000 pinwheels. Pinwheels are the international symbol for child abuse. It represents the childhoods that every child should have. And this year we wanted to make it more of a community event. So on April 4th, we're having a Celebrating Children event where we'll be planting the pinwheels. We'll also have a touch-a-truck event. So we'll have an ambulance and fire trucks, SWAT, and we're really excited that St. Elizabeth is going to have their air evac helicopter there for us. Oh, wow. Hubbard Communications is a great partner, so Mix 94.9 and Q102 will be there. We've got food trucks, we've got graders, Lita's Tacos. Anybody in Florence knows Lita's Tacos, they're amazing. Sweets and Meats Barbecue is one like best food truck a couple times. Yep. So it's going to be a really fun event, and you can tour the center and learn more about what we do. Awesome.
So if folks want to sign up for this event or get more information about any other events that you're doing or information about your organization, where do they go?
Well, we can go to our website, which is nkycac.org. Probably the best way to follow us is through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, but Facebook for sure at Northern Kentucky Children's Advocacy Center. All the events we have, all the information we put out is on there. It's probably the best place to follow us.
What do you need from the public? Is it volunteer hours? Is it just awareness?
Volunteer hours are tough because of the confidentiality of the work we do. And so we do have volunteers who sponsor events for us and have events and raise money for us. We certainly have a lot of organizations, partners, Fidelity Investments, for example, that provides for children for Christmas, because 70% of our kids are economically disadvantaged that come through our programs. But we can always use bottled water, snacks, Kleenex, tissues. I'm not going to bother asking for hand sanitizer.
Right now, that might not go well.
You might as well just be asking for gold.
Yeah. But any kind of those, because we do provide snacks to the kids when they're there. So any of those type items.
Excellent. John,
awesome. All right. International Trade Month again. We're going to go back to the travel question.
One day we'll be able to travel.
I cannot believe this is this.
I know,
line up
of all
with this.
times.
So, where's your favorite place you've ever been, or some place you would like to go?
Well, my last name is Clancy.
Yeah, okay.
There's a pretty big event coming up, a day coming up next week. So I St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to say Ireland. I've never been to Ireland. I would love to go back. I'd love to go and tour and find out where my extended family came from.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be
very
time.
Cool. Awesome.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and best of luck to you with the event and everything else coming up in April as well.
Thank you.
And we want to thank all of our guests today. And again, if you're just joining us, here's what I want you to do. Once we're finished, I want you to go back and watch the very beginning. There's a really important update from the Chamber on why all the events for the Chamber are going to be canceled at least through April 3rd, and really just some precautions to take. And, again, the bottom line is this is all in an abundance of caution.
Yep.
And so I think we can all kind of work together to make it through these next 3-4 weeks.
Remember, wash your hands. And
like 100
don't shake
times
hands. I like the jazz hands greeting. That's my favorite.
You know what? I'm just saying, I have been a social distancer for years, and finally it's socially acceptable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
Amanda in our office, the same thing. She's like, I hate people touching me.
I have a T-shirt that says "Not a Hugger." I'm like, finally, this makes sense. So anyway, thank you to everybody for joining us today, and once again, thanks to our sponsors, our title sponsor, CVG, our studio sponsor, the L&N Federal Credit Union, and all of our guests today. Stay with us. I have a feeling this whole social media bit is going to be the way information gets out from the Chamber chamber for the
Oh
next
yeah,
several
we're
weeks.
gonna have lots of cool stuff. We've got a podcast scheduled for next week. Blair
go.
Technology Group, they're a great company that's down in Latonia, Covington area. They did our Recycle Day last year, and we're gonna do it again this year. So they're gonna come in and talk about what they do, and then also we're gonna introduce another nonprofit. It's called Ethan's Purpose, and it's about suicide prevention.
Wonderful. And so yeah, subscribe, like, share wherever you are, wherever you're listening or watching. We appreciate you being there, but just make sure other people know as well. Thanks again, and we'll see you right back here next week.